In the ring we stand tall, words of blades that never fall, debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. In the ring we stand tall, words of blades that never fall, debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean, spirited, mind sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night, join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep and search for more. In the ring we stand tall, words are blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave, every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean, spirited minds sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night, join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena there's no chance to escape the vibrant lore. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Will be heard. Will be heard.
Spartans! What is your profession?
What is going on, everybody? I'm Little Dark. I gotta fix that in a minute. But we are back live with another stream. Of course, you guys know where you're at. You're at Sparta Institute Network. I am the Ghost of Sparta, as always, your host. But I can't do this by myself. I gotta get my boy in here. He is the most incredible man on the earth. He is Mr. Gigolo. I love doing that to him. Hey, Groot, how you doing today? Does that annoy you? Can't hear you. You gotta turn your mic on.
Call me Groot. First and foremost,
I-
Groot is skinny, he's bony, and fleshy, and strong.
And we got the queen in the house already. She's supposed to be joining us tonight. I convinced her to join us. She's gonna kill me because I kind of told her last minute. So oopsies. So before we get into the story, I have a little story to tell everybody. I kind of told you a brief about it. David, you were married, single, and above, correct?
All of the above, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I mean, I'm apologize if I hate to say so smart for you. I don't mean it to hurt you. I'm not aiming like that.
I know.
So let's say you were talking to somebody. All right. You with me so far?
I'm listening.
All right. And things are going great for like 3 or 4 months. And
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, she goes to you, oh, my ex husband's coming up to see the kids. No big deal. That's fine so far, right? You can't stop the guy seeing his kids.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I respect that. He wants to spend time with his kids. Cool, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden, they drop a bomb on you. Oh, by the way, he's spending the night at my house. Go ahead.
I would say this: when you are dating a woman with kids who are formerly married, it is not a very simple situation to get yourself in if you don't know the full dynamic of that particular relationship or what it is. In the society that we in today, sometimes it's word alone is not enough. There have to be proof, knowing that the thing is platonic, or just like maybe this thing is more civil for what it is. Because there are people out there who were formerly married, right? Something could have caused that marriage to fall apart, whereby only thing they can do is be civil for the kids, which is fully understandable. But if the ex-husband father the kids said spend on the night, my question I'm gonna ask is, what the reason behind it? Why? Is it because there's not a hotel? If there's not a hotel nearby, close to proximity where they
There are hotels.
okay, their hotel, then there shouldn't be a problem for him to book a hotel. What would be the reason why if we not book a hotel? I will ask that question not out of anger, but out of curiosity.
Well, the response I got when I said that I'm being unreasonable and disrespectful, but I told her she's being disrespectful because it doesn't work like that.
This is
And
why
I tried to switch the story around. I said, "What happened if that was my ex?" And she refused to answer that question.
this is what no. Here's the thing, Eh, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to single mom, there are two type of single mom. One that came out from a marriage, where she bear her children from the realm of marriage, which is more respectable than that of a person who was just a baby mama due to the fear of the moment. If she coming from a marriage, from a marriage, depending on what it was or how the dynamic of it, it's best to take your time to find out the full dynamic, the full setup. Because if the man do come up from time to time to check on his kid, whatsoever, or to spend time with the kid, that's just understandable. There has to be a level of transparency, honesty, and consistency whereby the woman you are dealing with who got kid with her ex-husband had to be straight up with you. Meaning, since this divorce has happened, since they've been final, have there been any um oops or mistake whereby I don't know where the flame ignited out by mistake? There had to be a clear, transparent to let them know no, it's not happening. If it's not happening, that is fine. Now I'll be real with you guys. It's not easy for a guy who never been married or who's single, don't have no kid, dating a person who has kids out of marriage. And the ex-husband came over with it. And because yes, every man have a right to feel some kind of way. I'm not saying you cannot, but you have the right to be conscious about it. You have a right to be concerned about it because you don't know. Maybe it's platonic, maybe because he tired of coming from work or he was traveling, he came along with, and at that point he didn't have the. If that's the case, that's fine. If he's sleeping on the couch, then I will understand. Which I have to say that because one, I was married, going to a divorce. Every situation is not the same. Every situation is different. Some situations whereby the ex-husband and ex-wife don't see eye to eye, they main concern is the children and the children on they don't really see each other that type of way. They rather keep that distance. I get it. If I'm one who want to go and visit my kids, I'm coming from a long distance commute and I'm extremely tired and let's say the nearest hotel is about an hour, hour and a half. And I don't feel like driving because I'm afraid of what's happened to my cousin who's in the military. 'Cause I heard many stories about him driving where he tired and instead of just parking to the side, he think he could make it. He ended up getting a multiple car accident before in the past. So that could be the case, but then again, things are different. So I would suggest if you're dating a woman who had kids out of marriage, it's good to get the full detail of what really happened, what caused the marriage to fall apart. Are they looking to rekindle that relationship or that one is purely dead, dead? As in, no spark, no cinder, no nothing, no flare, nothing whatsoever. Then that'll be understandable. Now, I will never suggest, this is my point of view, that's my opinion. If you're dating a woman who never been married but she have kids, that is the one that I'm more conscious about because baby daddy, baby mama situation, I don't really trust. They say, "Oh, you're not together." Yeah, whatever. But what got you together to have kids in the first place? What was it? I don't trust that dynamic either. That's just me. That's my point of view. So I'm from a different breed of man. I see things different for what it is, and I've seen what I've going on, especially from Brooklyn, New York. Too many dynamics of these type of things that's happening. That's why I say what I said. But to each his own. You have to be very careful. You have to be wise about it to make sure you stay consistent. I'm not saying be paranoid, but stay consistent. Make sure that this is not no roster like you know how ladies. Oh, I got a roster. Yeah, no, you don't got a roster. You got a post office. You trying to say everybody dropping their mail in you? Go ahead, be my guest. I'm not into those type of people. Not my thing. But I would say make sure if it's platonic for what it is, then it's platonic. But make sure you keep it consistent. Catch her if she story is not the inconsistent one that you say was the next thing to do, that then you know something is up. That's my thing. That's my take on that. It is what it is.
I understand where you're coming from, David, but personally, me, I didn't feel comfortable with the whole situation, and I told her that.
I hear what I said before. I want to expect you to feel comfortable.
Yes,
Every man have a right to feel some kind of way because, like I said, the question you want to ask
but you know
is
what she told me when I said that I didn't feel comfortable? Is not a big deal. You're overreacting for nothing.
okay. Hold up. I want you to stay here, ladies. If you know you are a divorce mother and a guy you're dating asks the question and you thought that it's not a big deal. What you're doing right there and there, you're throwing a red flag in his face. Like you trying to tell him he to grow up. No. You need to understand the nature of men first.
David, let you know what you got a background noise coming your way.
Oh, can y'all turn that video game down a little bit? Could you pick it up? Here's the thing: men are territorial. Either you like it or you don't.
Thank you.
If you cannot comprehend that, then by all means, be by yourself, or just be the three or four of the street. I'm just being real with you guys. I'm not done with all the talking point bullshit because I've seen that for the past 3 years, and I find it ironically that you have proved to me that you rather be a dumbed down nincompoop or undesirable element, which I don't think you know what that means. Because if you did find out what it means, you realize what I'm trying to tell you. Stop playing these bullshit. Men are going to be very, very territorial. Either you like it or you don't.
Oh,
If
music
you
to my
don't, if you
ears.
don't believe me, the kind of men that y'all built here are not the same kind of men are built outside this country. They're not going to tell you one and two or three times. They'll let you know it's what it is, and they don't care about the American norm because they find it a piece of shit. To be quite honest with you guys, so when you're dealing with a guy and you are single mother coming out of a marriage and you're dating somebody who don't have kids, never had kids, he gonna go be concerned. He gonna be cautious about it, and you can't tell him it's no big deal. It's your job to make it clear, like I get where you're coming from. It's not what you think of him, but he came to see the kid. He might be coming from work, or he just flew in, or they came in from a meet, and he may be too tired to go back out on the road because who knows what the traffic may be.
So I'm gonna answer
Whatever it
that
may be.
question to you.
Go ahead.
So the dude's commute from where he's coming from. I don't want to blow his spot up because I don't know the guy personally. It's about only an hour and a half drive, give or take.
Hmm.
So it's not that bad. He's coming on a Saturday, whatever. I don't care about that. I don't care. He spent kids with. It's like it was the principle. That was my point more than anything. It's the principle behind it. She did not understand that. She's
There you
so
go.
tunnel vision is it's okay for she to tell you you're disrespecting her and all this stuff, but when you twist it around and tell, listen, this is not like that. It's actually calm voice, like I'm now, saying you are being very disrespectful by even thinking about this is okay.
You know why you will not know that?
Go ahead.
Let me tell you why. Very simple. I said it several times, and it went over a lot of people's head because they're too stupid or they think they're smart, but you're not wise. The counsel of why people are non-existent in today's society. What do I mean by that? You don't have the elder women who are here to slap set in these young generation of idiot. It's also applied to the men's side as well. Because if you have a concept of elder women who see the bullshit you put, they'll push you aside. Like you want to get back in the game, right? You trying to find someone who will respect you and your baggage, right? But you trying to act. Trust me, you will scare them away from you. You had to be respectful. He got no kid, but you got. He came out of the marriage. You can't say, it's no big deal. You tell me it's no big deal, then by me, it's no big deal. You to just bypass and find somebody else. You can't get mad. The problem with people who are too entitled, too full of shit, they don't have a sense of harmony within themselves. They feel like, oh, well, it's no big deal. It's what it is. No, it's not. It's what it is. If it is what it is, then why is the single rate is so freaking high? Why is everybody got a video? Why can't I find a man? Cause you're full of shit. Um, why can't I find a good man? Good man, I'm watching your dumb behind act like a complete fool. Why would I want to go near your ass? For what? There's nothing wrong. I got no. You don't got baggage. You got package. How about that? Yes, I said it.
See, Here's the issue with old single men right now, including myself. They're not gonna put up with the bullshit anymore. Before the numbers were like hard, you just met the right one, but you dealt with the bullshit. Like somebody said to me today, like you can have your cake and eat it. And that's what she wants. I wish her best, but personally, I'm not gonna deal with that shit. You're going to show respect. Simple as that. By doing that is disrespect, I think. But anyway,
Hold on, hold on.
that's
Don't, let me
the
not
point.
go back to you. Said they're afraid to have you can have your cake and you can eat it, right?
Yeah,
What happened to Halle Berry?
what happened to her?
I thought you could have a cake and eat it, right? There's a
Yeah,
long there's a long list of women who had that same ideology. And that shit is kicking them in the butt like a donkey with a dead spiky shoehorn. So let's stop the bullshit. I can have my cake, I can eat it. Man, that shit does not work. Shut the fuck up, will you? It's like you putting shit on a scale. When the scale is not balanced out, if you rock to the left or walk to the right, that means problem. Either you like it or you don't. If you can have your cake and can eat it, there won't be so many single moms out here.
my man. I don't have to use shut the fuck up button tonight for you.
No,
Yeah,
I told you guys the gloves are off, so if there's a gut punch, I'm trying to kick that gut so much all the bullshit coming out of your mouth.
yeah. So let's actually get into the actual show now. Don't you think so, Dave? I think we beat this
Shoot,
dog pretty well,
shoot.
right? So when you
Yeah,
hear the
we
backbone
can do
of a
that. We can do
family
that.
celebrate the, I'm sorry,
The backbone of a family.
a backbone of a family celebrate of the standard of a housewife. Where does that come to your head? Your first opening thoughts.
The standard of a housewife. Hmm, that's a very good question. I thought that was non-existent. I've seen so many women. Oh, I'm the table. I don't cook. I don't clean. I'm just a trophy wife. Yeah, and you collect dust and you replay with something that's not a trophy. Yeah, the standard of a housewife. Hmm. Question is, dude, today I don't know what a housewife really is to begin with. That's a real honest question. I believe the term housewife is a very highly rare tribe of women who are considered to be highly rare species. They come from a very, very different cloth. They know their mission, they know their assignment, they know what needs to be done. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna bust your bubble. When I'm referring to a housewife, especially to all those fake ass Christian women in churches who think they know the scriptures, they're referring to a Proverbs 31 woman, which a high chance of y'all don't match that criteria. The problem is, with all those egos, with all those attitude, I don't see how you call yourself a housewife, but I would say the perfect example of a true housewife will be BMU grandmother, who was the one who laid a foundation whereby many other the younger generation were too stubborn to see that this is how you build legacy. A true backbone of a house, a real housewife. She's a crown of a very good man. She's a asset, not a liability. Another example, Anton Daniel wife is what you call a true crime. You have to today's society of women that saying a housewife is slavery. No, you full of shit when you say that. You sound like you someone who dropped out of high school or you skip class and you got a GED. You talk that kind of nonsense. Being a 3 or 4, being a chewing gum on the curb, it's not the same as being a half of a woman who could be a Provo 31 woman. That's the woman with the highest honor. That woman who not only get respect but demand respect and will receive respect from men far and wide. Men would not go around the way to depict a woman of that caliber because she's very meek, she's very humble. She's more about keeping her man image clean. She will not do anything that will embarrass her man or embarrass the household image. That's not like Kendall Lamar's fiance. She's not out there chasing the clout. She's keeping a low profile, making sure her man is safe. She makes sure her man's safety is well secure. To wherever the world trying to throw at him, he got somewhere to go to and to hide himself from all the madness. Not so many women understand what that means to begin with because they're too damn stupid. They say they're highly educated. No, you're not really educated. They're full of shit, to be honest with you. So I'm wondering if the true essence of a housewife, aka Provo 21 woman, will ever exist in the generation. That'd be hard to find because they consider to be a rare gem. They're far more precious than rubies and diamonds. Those are things that it takes time to find, worth looking for, not the quick access one. But who am I to say anything because I don't follow the American I don't follow the American bullshit or the brainwashing I've been going on for more than the past 40, 50 years. I call it as I see it. You think I Pastor General Jenkins would call you off the spot. Which is what I said is totally correct. When you find a genuine housewife, you find a very strong household. The children are well brought up, the children are well behaved, the children are assisting the parents, the children are helping to keep maintain the peace in the household. They're not knucklehead kids causing trauma. Hmm. I got so much to say about that, but I don't want to drag it out too long because the idea of a family is almost completely destroyed in this today's society in the Western world. It really is. It's not like everyone want to be a family. Everybody want to have that cake and the ice and just shack it up. I'm gonna have a roster. Or have too many DNA up in your system. You don't know who's who, who's what anymore. You have some fucked up ideology. Quit a life of trauma and drama to pass down to the next couple of generations. And wonder why your last name ain't worth it. Eh, it is what it is.
Thanks, David, for that. So one thing I have to your comments, the best role model to a housewife I have is Mama Spartan. You know who Mama Spartan is, right?
Oh, the expert ninja.
Fuck you, asshole. So, guys, if you guys don't know the backstory of my mom, so I'll tell you a little backstory of my mom. My mom has been on the channel, believe it or not, as a guest
Hmm.
on the gray area. So go check those episodes back. Is in the archive. So the story was my mother is arguing with the phone company, so she calls long distance to Greece. So at the time, I was with T-Mobile, and T-Mobile had a great deal with $10 unlimited overseas. I told her, listen, stop arguing on the phone. I told her, like, you know what? Fuck it. I give up. Just give me the goddamn cell phone. I go to her, okay, man, no problem. I get to a flip phone. He's like, huh? I'm like, what do I look like? Old a hag? I'm like, uh, kind of. Actually, you're 76. I'm like, I want an iPhone 15 Pro Max. I'm like, the fuck? How the fuck this bitch know about 14 on 15? And I asked her, like, how do you know about iPhone 15? And by the way, me and mom curse each other back and forth. That's how our relationship. It's not like disrespectful. It's how we are. And David's seen that. Like, that's how me and my mom are.
I know.
Look,
Until she threw that ninja style, aka
hang
the
on.
iPhone
I'm getting to
15.
that point. So I went to T-Mobile. I got her an iPhone 15. I set it up. I got her, an Apple ID. I did it a whole 9 yards. I had some them. I put it even into senior mode to make it easier for them. I will about a day or two later. I will come in from home from work. A long day. I go. I see that thing flying. I go, whoa! I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, lady? Like, I can't fucking work this shit. I'm like,
What
okay,
happened
well, whoa,
was she threw the phone just
with
to
that a
nick
case
her
on it.
time. He dodged it, and the phone got stuck in the wall.
Yeah, the door actually. If you want to get technical,
He was like,
dude, it reminded me back in the hood. I was dodging shit.
"She got a good hand. Trust me. A real
Man,
housewife,
she's
a
a
real
quarterback.
housewife.
She's a quarterback of the Greek football team.
Here's something you don't understand. A real housewife had expert skills. If the kid is misbehaving and she wants to chase the kid, she could take that slippers and throw it in a way that slipper without to bend beyond nature and hit the kid right behind the head without missing.
You know what's funny about that? Like one of my exes, we were arguing one day. Not arguing, we just bullshitting, right? She's joking around. She threw the slipper on the bed. A did the 360 thing, right? And
Hmm.
clocked me on the bottom of my lip. I'm like, what the
Told you.
fuck? She
It's
goes,
a, it's
oh,
a,
I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. I'm like, bullshit.
nah,
I'm so fucking sorry. You fucking did that on
it,
purpose.
you don't understand it. It's a natural talent for a
And
housewife
natural.
to
There's a
have.
goddamn fucking assassin shit. I think the Assassin's Creed of a woman. They have to go through a fucking boot camp before they get married.
Let me tell you who took it to the next level. The Latinos. They
That's who
took that.
I was dating a Latino, remember?
They took it to a whole new level. They found ways. If you try to go around the curve and dodge it, somehow that thing slipper still get you. And you trying to figure out how in the I just went around the corner. Yeah, but that thing chased your ass. So I'm telling you, a real housewife, any slipper become a weapon. It doesn't matter. You can be running. Yeah. Don't let her get with a spoon. Oh hell no.
Oh, my grandma was expert with a wooden spoon.
See?
Greek grandmothers. Woo-hoo. But let me get back to the original time. Mama Spartan, like I like to call her, or a pain in my rear ass. She,
I didn't say that.
I did,
I
right,
know.
ma? Oh, her headphones
Yeah,
on again here.
I know.
Um,
You on that one.
so she, my parents had a really bad fallout lately. The last 4 or 5 years, they're not together anymore. But I have to give her credit. She was a great housewife to him. The food was always done. The house was always clean. When he came from work, his slippers were ready. The old school way. That's what I grew up on, and that's what I'm looking for. Not to the point of bring my slippers and shit like that. I'm just saying the old school. Okay, he's working all day. Let me have a hot meal for him ready to go, or like make sure the house is clean. I love walking into the house and it's clean. The smell of a house clean, the vibe, the aura, it just makes your mindset is different versus walking into a messy house like, oh fuck this shit.
I
You know what
know.
I'm saying?
Trust me, I know. That art is missing because
Exactly.
the new generation of 3 or 4, they call it slavery. But they don't know what slavery really is, which is too damn dumb and too damn stupid. But this is why I will say what I say. If you call being a housewife slavery, then just do me a favor. Don't complain when you turn old and gray and want to pick your scrawny retarded ass.
You know, it's funny you say that because I see a lot of women housewives. They're going out to a club with their girlfriends. The tits are hanging out. The thong is going out in high heels. The ties closed. Like that is not appropriate dress wear to go out.
No. Here's the thing. Shout out to Ali out there. Let them be. Leave them alone. Don't bug them. Don't bother them. Separate yourself from those type of women and look for one who want to be the kind of woman you're looking for. Let them run them out. You say, "Oh, get your passport and leave." Good, leave. Take your time, find the right one. You find the right one who is your peace. Don't give it a flare. Just appear. When they start to see all the good men just appearing in large numbers and leave the sassy, the good for nothing, no spinal cord having ass simp, that's their own problem, not mine. Because in reality, they want to talk. Let's be real though. I am so sick and tired when I hear women say they know what it takes to be a man when you're not being a man to begin with, but you don't know how to raise one. But yeah, you raise the simp, the sassy man that you don't want to deal with, like really.
Yeah,
And all this independent talk nonsense. It don't work that way.
I tell a lot of women when I start talking to them or dating them, I'm a real man. If you want a real man, great. But if you don't want a real man, just walk away now.
I don't. I'm tired. I don't chase them. I
So
really.
point.
I even on my good sister white school podcast. I told her quit the club. I don't waste my time with women on this soil anymore. I really don't. I really don't care less anymore. I see you. I pass by. I keep it pushing. I don't. It's not a matter of a trust issue. I just feel like the value in this story is done. When you can prove me wrong, show me your true essence, which I'm not going to even waste my time to chase after. There's nothing to chase here. There's nothing to seek for. So I have to keep it moving and focus on my own agenda. That's about it. I'm not hurt. I'm just saying I'm not wasting my time
Hmm.
because with all this bullshit I have out there, oh, I don't do coffee date. I don't drink bean juice. I'm sorry. You don't drink bean juice, but you drink sour cream. Make
Yeah.
it make sense.
Yeah. So hold up, David. Let's get the queen herself in because I asked her as a personal favor to come in and she wants to kill me because I threw her last minute. Lady Novella, how are you tonight?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah,
We
not
can
too
hear
late,
you.
girl.
How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
I'm
How are
sorry, you
you?
got the camera on. I'm cooking. I'm good.
Oh,
I'm cooking still.
it's fine.
So
It's fine.
I was gonna be a lot longer, so I joined in now because I was gonna be a lot longer. I didn't want him to wait. That's why I joined in with y'all. I wanted y'all to do the intro first. I told him he should have put me on part two for a woman's perspective on part two, and hear just the men perspective this time. But I want to jump in. I had to jump in and come in because I was hearing some shit. And I'm like, what the hell is going on over here? Let me jump in.
Don't get. You know me, Lady Navarre. I take off the gloves,
I see. And I don't mind you doing it. You already know that. I want you to live in your fly. You
and the
feel
thing
me?
that I'm glad you mentioned that because what I was trying to say is this: we heard what was going on for the past 2 years. If a man want to take their time to find out who the woman really is, or have what you call a coffee date, we are told we are cheap or we are broke.
Well, let me stop you
Or
right there. Let me stop you right there. First of all, going to go get coffee, eat, going to go get some ice cream, Applebee's, and all that. Those are great ideas. Those are perfect ideas.
and
Walks in the parks. So,
I totally
ladies,
agree.
wake up. Wake up.
And I
That
totally
60
agree.
figure man, y'all ain't gonna be able to keep up with him.
Keep
Trust me.
up. But
Yeah,
hold on.
cause
No, here's the problem. They're not gonna keep up with any of them because first of all, you're not gonna get near them to begin with. and you get near them, either through Tinder for one thing and one thing only. So y'all need to stop the bullshit. Which I've been saying it for far too long. When you talk about all that nonsense, you saw. Come on, lady in the vote. You saw all the talking point. Oh, yeah, broke. I don't do no IHOP. I don't
So
do.
what? Let
Uh,
them say that
and,
and then be broke.
then,
Let them
then
be broke.
I laugh. You know why I laugh about it? Just like the girl who said last year, I don't drink bean juice. And you hear what I said earlier. You don't drink bean juice, but you drink sour cream juice.
I
What's the
don't drink
difference?
bean juice either. But yeah,
I
but
know.
I'm a wife, you know.
Here's what I do respect about the coffee date or ice cream. If for some reason okay, let's say you're vibing on through, like you met her online, you're vibing fine on Messenger, then you move to texting, phone calls, FaceTime,
Uh-huh.
and then finally meeting. You may vibe so well over the phone, but when you're actually in person, you might look at it like, yeah, I'm not feeling her for some reason. It's not working. I don't like, and
Yeah,
you can
Bingo.
very
exactly. And you
very
spent all that
exit.
money on her at a five star restaurant, and you're not even satisfied with your purchase.
Shit, I don't need a 5-star
You could
restaurant.
have
I can
got,
be in a 5-star restaurant myself. I'll take some money like that.
You're a chef. I get that, but here's my thing.
you know what I mean. We ain't
I
talking
know.
to you.
I
I
know
know.
I'm being a
Jeez.
smart ass. You know me.
Here's
Look, we
my
ain't
thing.
talking to you, Chef.
I prefer coffee date for one major reason. That is an introduction to get to know who you
Yes.
are as an individual. The coffee doesn't mean you don't have to drink coffee. They have coffee.
Uh-uh.
They have
You can't
latte.
do that. You
Hold
broke.
on.
You broke. No, I'm acting like that. I'm sorry.
I know I'm just being honest. This is how I see it because I'm not only I'm old school, but I'm thick with a pen. If I call you out for a coffee date, it doesn't mean you get coffee. There's a coffee that are only not only serve coffee. They serve latte, they serve mocha, they serve hot chocolate.
Yes.
Simple, relaxing drink will allow you to sit down one on one, have a real conversation. The problem with all these thought out here, they're not looking to have a conversation, they're looking to empty your resources. So this is why I say what I said. I am not wasting my time with women in this soil on this land. If you expect me to empty my resource because of how you look, then by all means, I could go to Toys R Us and get a copy of you full of
Ooh,
plastic.
ooh,
I
I
am
think you mean
shady.
Amazon because Toys R Us is out of business.
ooh,
Oh, Toys R Us out of business? What's the next toy store I can use to make
Walmart,
for the car? Okay, I can do that one. Get a Walmart version of her. Pretty
ooh.
much what it is.
you're an
Oh,
asshole.
I am. Oh, I'm worse than an asshole. My job is to break down that stupid ideology in the way of Hulk smash. You're full of shit.
That's why I wanted to have this conversation tonight with all you guys. This is why I wanted the queen on because you know what? I don't care what anybody says. Her mindset and her values, I respect and appreciate so much. I have a
Thank you.
conversation with her, and she always put like, "Man, she's always goddamn right."
No, I'm not.
Because the thing is,
I'm
I'm
giving you
used
credit
to.
here. Just go with
I,
it.
I prefer coffee day. I
Thank you.
prefer walk in the park. I prefer ice cream day. Oh, you know what?
I agree with you. Keep it
Let's go to the
simple
ice
for
cream
everyone.
parlor. Let's try different flavors. Let's see what you like, what you don't like. Or let's go
Dude,
bowling or something.
my best friend has been married for over 20 years right now, and he still goes out with his wife and have a dinner date, going out of coffee night, all that stuff. I'm like, oh, she's trying to show off now,
Um, don't do that now because too many people don't know how to cook.
like you.
No, I can cook, but I cook African food, so don't even go there.
I
Oh,
actually like African food,
I
bro.
want
I
some.
do enjoy it
I
if it's
want some
made
I know.
correctly.
African food.
That's the
Just don't
thing.
put no beans in it. I grew up on it. I can't eat beans no more.
But go
I'm
to
tired
Sparta.
of it.
They would have learned from the South. They say if a woman can burn water, she can't cook.
Well, I'm making cabbage, chicken, shrimp, and rice.
So I gotta
With
do it to
season,
you,
no,
David.
with season, right?
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
You stupid.
I'm
You're
just,
good. You're good for 45 minutes.
Did you hear what I said?
I
What's
heard
up?
you say
My
making
menu
cabbage.
was. Kelly.
Yeah, I know. I heard. It sounds good. All right, I'm gonna play the first video for you guys. So are you guys ready?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we can't hear it.
Women have
Okay.
incredible strength in their femininity. I've enjoyed seeing that in my wife, in my daughter, in my sister, in my mom, in my grandmas. I mean, I've loved seeing that, each unique. And in sports, it's sad to see that we're lacking a defense around the femininity and the ability to compete as women. We need to defend that and also remind our daughters, the women around us, the strengths they bring in their own unique creation. Women.
All right.
That
Before
video,
you check, hey, David, hang on. I want the queen to go first because ladies first. Lady, nobody want to go for take that one first?
you said the queen to go first.
Yeah, you can go first, David, because I think she's busy cooking. Go ahead.
That video right there was
Oh, I was
delicious.
talking. I'm sorry, and I didn't
No,
know
you're
I was
good.
muted.
Go ahead.
I didn't know I was muted, and I was over here talking.
Go
Um,
ahead.
what I was trying to say is that's true. Women's strengths are phenomenal. We carry babies. We go through 9 months. We do the delivery. That's a lot of strength. And then going through postpartum, trying to still care for the kids. That's strength. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't. What I was about to say after that. I seen two ladies carrying a casket, and that wasn't normal to me. Out of a hearse to a roller to put it on. And I've seen the comments that was like, the power of a woman's strength is amazing. But why men couldn't do that and have pallbearer? I think that women don't have to do a lot of things to try to compete with men. Stay in your femininity. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to do that, go work in the stores. What the bugs that what the men do. Go do the sidelines. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. That's just a start off without trying to start no stuff. But women don't like when I say stuff like that. But go ahead. Let me know when y'all want to ask me a question.
Before we David go, I want to ask you a question. Is was one comment I hear females always say, and I personally hate that comment. And David knows where I'm going with this already. When a woman says, "I don't need a man in my life," fuck them. What do you have to say to that?
You know what I'm gonna say about that.
I
I
want to
believe
hear it.
in God. I believe in God. God don't make mistakes. Who did he make first?
Man,
How did he make us? From who?
from a man, from his rib.
We're basically your junior X. One man. When the Bible speak of men, he's speaking of both in certain most, of the Bible. You will know the difference if he's talking about man, man, or one man. You'll know. But when the Bible speaks of man, he's talking about one man and man mostly. You knew that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna always need a man. I tell women all the time, baby, you gotta have, you own it. You gonna need a man who's gonna handle your appliances and things gonna break down. You got a car, you own it, okay, leasing it, whatever. When you need to get fixed, who you gonna take it to? You gonna take it to some woman jumpsuits with heels, long nails, eyelashes to work on your car, or you gonna take it to men? They take their car to a man. Stop saying you don't need a man. You got kids. How did you get those kids? I always say, Jelly gave it to you, or Rayshawn, Raekwon, James, Bob, different nationality names. And I was like, well, Maria didn't give it to you. Uh, and different names than the thing I usually say or whatever. They didn't give it to you, so you needed a man. Stop saying you don't need no man. You gonna need a man, and then when you get feeling kind of frisky, you gonna call up one of your sneaky leads. What do he have in between his legs? Okay, so you're gonna need him, right? Okay, so you're gonna. So I always tell women, stop saying you don't need no man. If you don't need, oh, alone. That's fine, but stop coaching women to do it. Because you're going to have them lonely, miserable, not going to be happy like how you think it is. Because you're not happy. I've never seen a real single, long single woman ever. I've never seen one. I seen them fake it. I've never seen one that was like fully happy. But I'm playing right there. That's a starter. Oh, and a wife is for her man. Finding a good man is a good woman. And under God. So what? When a man works, and I seen an example. She was like a nagger. You don't spend no time with me and dinner. He was like, I work 6 days out of the week, and I'm waiting or tell us what she do for him when he comes home those from work. How she doing? Just because he falls asleep on you when he comes home, baby, he's tired. You can always sneak in on a tired man and get your time in. You just gotta walk on the whole room. I need to have a class with it because I had my husband works a long hour. Yeah, I knew how to work how I knew how to work around that. I'm saying so you can't just always nag at your man. You know what I'm saying because he don't spend time pay for all the lavish things you want and trips and marriage and nails and stuff. He has to work. So go ahead.
Oh my God!
And this is why we love having her on. Um, I'm going
I'm
forward for you to come. You there, David?
I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm trying to give me
All
some
right, go ahead,
water.
David. Take the floor. Is your turn now.
I will say this real straight up. There's a reason why the idea of a housewife is seen foreign, since the agenda of this society was to break up the family on purpose, just for the sake of having more people to work so they can tax. We have less people at home watching the kids, making sure the household's in place. It's amazing that's the agenda here in the Western world, but outside the Western world, that's not the agenda. It's amazing. You have so many young women who are taught how to be independent, not to rely on no man, right? Know how to make your own money, know how to balance the book, know how to change the tire, not to do this, not to do that, not to do all the other stuff. Fine, that is fine. It's all cool. But you forget something. There's only two sexes in this world, male and female, correct?
Correct.
And what is made naturally, you cannot go against it. Either you like it or you don't. The same way a man have a yearning for a good woman, the same thing happens vice versa. But when you have the wrong sense of programming, and later on, because of your in the way of thinking, you want to paint a broad brush and say all men are the same. Ask yourself this question: who put the gun behind your head to make you make those stupid decisions in the first place? I would like to know on that part.
Good point.
Because our elders, those who were before us, who were trying to give us a warning way ahead of time not to take that particular path, what do? We assume that whatever knowledge they have is outdated. It's not meant for this generation, right? Your way of seeing things is out of whack. It's out of date. It's not recommended. It's an old edition. It's an old book. Whatever you want to call it. Okay, fine. But you wonder why we have high class idiot like Nick Cannon, many other who are trying to. I don't know. I find it highly amusing when they're trying to make sense of stupidity of a higher class as if that's being wise. Okay, I would spread my tea all over the earth and make a bunch of baby moms, have so many kids of so many area code, but you want to claim he the great father. Bullshit. Want to tell me you're a really great father? Okay, you got the money, right? If you really want to be a great father, do me a favor. Build one nice huge ass mansion with multiple rooms. Make sure all your baby mama is living in that same building with you. Not no different area code or different state or different county. Have their ass in your premises so that all your kids are in the same proximity and you spend time with them. If you cannot do that bullshit, then shut the fuck up. You hear me? All this about spreading your seed. Oh, I don't need a man. Wait, on top, you don't need a man, but you need a police officer. No, 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 no. You don't need a man. You need a firefighter, right? Oh, no, stop. My bad. You don't need a man, but you need a plumber. No, 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 no. I'm sorry, 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 sorry. You don't need a man. You need an electrician. Oh, no, no, no. I'm sorry. Let me stop. You don't need a man, but you need a carpenter, right? No, no, no. You don't need a man, but you need someone to help you pick that heavy ass load that if you were to carry that, you would have pulled your spine. And you know it beyond your physical mean to do such a thing. But he dared to do that because he is built different from you, right? No, 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 no. You don't need a man, but you need a security guard to prevent all this from happening. No, 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 no. You don't need a man, but you need someone who can pick your luggage and toss it over there, right? No, 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 no. You don't need a man, but you need someone to put that new bathtub in the bathroom or to hook up that sink, right? To fix that light setting. No, 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 no. We don't need a man,
Hang
but
on,
you
David.
need.
Before you go on a rampage
Whew.
here, I have a comeback on that one. All right. When I asked somebody, says you do need a man because I said the same thing as you said. Like you need somebody to fix your car. You need to. You know what they replied to me?
What?
That is a career. That's not needing a man still.
Okay, no, no, what? Okay, you don't need a man, but you want someone to break your back, right? To put you in that position so you can be knocked out, right? But you don't need a man. No one wants to carry you, do all type of weird stuff with you, all type of stupid trip with you. You know what? But you don't need a man, but you need a sperm to have a baby, right? Now, if you don't need a man, you can get a horse in the farm, right? You can get a dog to replace a man, right? He did a quarter of the size, but that should be enough for you, right?
Yeah.
I'm being logical here.
You know, you only logical. You're being actually normal for once.
No, they don't call that normal. They call that psychotic.
Now, this is yeah, that is psychotic because you want an actual wife. You want somebody who actually walks through that fucking door and she goes crazy. She jumps on you, kisses you, and whatever does a nasty with you right down the door. Um, hey, you gotta be Mr. Juggalo somehow. But my point is trying to get to is that what is a old school, and it's funny you mentioned the European women. I'm gonna bring my country up at Greece. Yes, this is my country too, but Greece is also my second country.
Hmm.
So Greece housewife is still the way it was back in the day, like my mother was, probably yours, and the queen down there.
And the Middle East.
Yeah, So they still get married.
Mhm.
Check. They still have
Mhm.
kids. Check. They still
Mhm.
do what they need to do in the house. Check. The man
Mhm.
fixes stuff in the house. So
Mhm.
it's kind of fair. Women take care. Guy fixes.
Mhm.
Take care. Fix. Take care. Fix.
Mhm.
Am I not balanced? Is that not balanced correctly, or am I
No,
wrong?
no, no,
Well, also,
no. You're not.
he does the
You're
grass,
not
the
wrong. But
snow.
here it is. But here it is though. I recall a few years ago during the passing away of the late Kevin Samuel, and I went to Fight Club to speak my view, and I came across a fellow brother. This is a real brother from the United States. He's from Philly. Turn to find out, ladies. I know they kind of like a slap on your face, but y'all fucked up for yourself. He's from Philly, a black brother living in the Middle East. He's a truck driver. He had three wives living with him. Not baby mamas, not three or fours, not girlfriend, not hold on the street. Three wives. They all work, they all take care of the household, and they all respect him. When I heard that, I was like, God damn, he left behind the three or four and got me a real one. Not one real one, not two, but three. God damn.
Yeah.
He hit a trifecta. That's a hat trick right there. What he's saying, screw y'all.
All right. Hang on a second. Let's get this guy in here. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our president. Mr. President, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing fine.
So, did you catch any of this stuff so far?
Yeah, I'm kind of saddened. I thought the title of the show was supposed to be about celebrating.
Yeah, kind of went
I
off.
haven't heard a lot of celebrate. This has been a very melancholy conversation, and I was expecting, I guess, something else. I came on when I could get on, but yeah. So I don't know where you want this conversation to go, or
I was actually hoping you can twist this around because you're the only man I know right now who's happily married for 30 years, is it right now, Paul?
March 29th will complete at 28.
28. 28
20,
years. So,
no, 28th season. Correction.
excuse me, 28 seasons, like Mr. President like always says. So, I'd like you to take the floor for a second and give me your opinion about celebrating a housewife.
Well, I guess these days I'm having trouble with the term, because first of all, a housewife is a wife. Full stop. Housewife is an occupation or it's a vocation. So I think we get those things twisted. You have women calling themselves housewives that are not wives at all. If you are divorced or separated, you are not a housewife, or you're not a wife, and therefore you're not a housewife. But in order to be a housewife, you must be a wife. And I think one of the things that people also mess up is that there's a big difference between being a housewife and being a mother. So you have, people forget that really, even when you're raising kids, the best environment you can raise your kids in is to be a happily married couple. But people, men and women, both forget that when the kids come around. I'm not saying that there's not going to be times when it's going to be stressful. I've confessed many times in the space how my wife and I struggled when we had kids. Again, we had 3 kids in 4 years: 2000, 2001, 2003. So yes, so it was definitely a struggle, and it took us a while to get back to a sense of balance. And now we're kind of on the rebound side, we're on the empty nesting side, and we're kind of getting back to, a sense of where we were before. Not nearly as energetic as we were before, but certainly a place where we feel like we're our own again. But I think that's where it starts. So I'm sorry if you're divorced or if you're separated, you're not a housewife. But again, housewife is a vocation that I think certainly in 2025, I think we need to open the tent a little bit, open the the occupation a little bit more to say that you could be happily married but not necessarily be a housewife, and that's okay. For those who are opining to go back to a world where it was basically you came home and your wife had the apron on and greeted you at the door with a martini and all this kind of stuff, if you can float that, if you have the means by which you can have that kind of lifestyle, then go for it. Most people simply aren't. Most men and women have careers. My wife's had a long career. She was working when I met her. She's worked her whole, except for the 6-year period when she was home, when I could afford for her to be home for a time before the markets changed. She was a housewife for 6 years. But then after that, she went back to work, and she's been working ever since. We are both big-time professionals with big-time responsibilities. And so a lot of the duties when it comes to the house is shared, and we don't apologize for that. So I think so. I wouldn't call my wife a housewife. She was only a housewife for a season or a few seasons, 6 seasons. She was a housewife. But then outside of that, she was just my wife. And she was essentially what I needed her to be at any point in those seasons. So there were seasons, I need you to work. And I'll do certain things in the house. I'll clean. To this day, I'm the one who vacuums. I'm the one who mops the floors. I'm the one who mows the lawn. I'm the one who does a lot of the chores. I cook twice a week, just as she cooks twice a week. And this is just what we have fashioned. So again, this idea of housewife or whatever, what do you need your wife to be? And is there a willingness from both the husband and the wife to be what the other person needs them to be? If I need you to be a housewife, then I need to be able to provide fully. But if I need you to be that career person or whatever, then that's fine too. And I don't think women should have to take a back seat because they're not, again, baking biscuits and cookies and stuff. So I think some of the stuff is dated. We got in 2025, we need to fashion a new reality. And there's other groups, especially with black people, there's other groups who are able to make this thing work. Again, I've been around Asian Indians for 30 years. I've seen housewives and I've seen careers. He's a IT engineer and she's a dentist. They still make it work because they're on the same page as far as what is needed, what is required. So I remember the president of Pepsi, I think her name was Indira something, I forget her name, but she was, president of Pepsi, but she still, when she went home, she was what her husband needed her to be. So again, I think we have some archaic definitions in terms of what that is. And I think ultimately, and I've been saying this for weeks, people in their dating have to have an honest conversation about who they are and what they want and what their expectations are. And people be honest to say either, yes, I can do that or I can't. It's not a matter of your ability. Like I said, my wife really couldn't cook very well when we got married. All skills can be learned. The question is, are you willing to live at peace with the person who you choose and do whatever it is required of you to make that successful? I didn't grow up with a housewife for sure. My mom was not a housewife. She could barely take care of herself. She was mentally ill. So I didn't grow up with that. And for the most part, my wife's mother was not a housewife either because they were split for a lot of years. So she didn't grow up with that either. In fact, from what I understand, her mom always worked as well. Both the dad, he worked at GM, he drove a cab. The mother worked at a factory or something. They always worked. That's all they know. In that family, that's all they know is women working. In fact, I got a brother-in-law whose wife is essentially, she's like basically a realtor, like a part-time realtor, but she's never had a steady job. And I remember the women in my wife's family being a little bit upset about that because they're used to like, look, It's not fair of him to have to take on the whole family load. She needs to get a regular full 9-to-5 job. But she has dreams of being a realtor, whatever, but that's his deal. That's what he wants. So I'm always telling him, look, he's happy, right? So if he's happy with the situation, then who are you to say he needs someone else? I mean, she fits what he needs. It may not be what you need or what you would want, but it works for them. Just like in my situation, it works for us. I don't need a housewife. But I need my wife to be what I need her to be. So people really, these ideas, this June Cleaver stuff, we're not going back to the 50s. So any notions of this, again, people for the millennials and for the Zers, how if marriage is going to be relevant, it has to adapt for their time. But I surround myself with long married people. I'm not the only one. That's all I know is married. My best friends, that's all I know is long-standing married people. Not always pretty. Doesn't mean you don't have your issues and problems or whatnot. Each one looks a little different. But none of their wives are necessarily staying home. I only know a few, maybe a handful. Everybody else, they put the work in. So again, you go after what you want. And if that person isn't willing, or if they have other ideas, then you leave them alone. So, I mean, that's kind of how I see the issue. But yeah, I celebrate my wife, and you didn't title the show Housewife. You just said wives. I celebrate my wife. But she was only a housewife for a fraction of our marriage. Was she ever a housewife? And it doesn't mean that a good wife has to be a housewife. It doesn't mean that at all. You could be a housewife with no kids. But you can also be a career woman with kids. I see it all the time. So again, let's have some productive conversation in terms of what is required, what is needed. And if you're not getting what you want, then maybe you should change your selection criteria and how you go about choosing partners and girlfriends and wives and things like that. Maybe that needs to change a little bit. But this one size fits all that I've heard in this space for years, I just think it needs to change, because there's a lot of different models that work. And it used to kill me when I would come into these conversations where you would have marriages that resembled more quote unquote partnerships. And some of these women would come in and jump on some of these women who were in these sort of partnership type of marriages. And some of these women weren't even married at all and not married as long. So who are you? What authority do you have to come in and criticize how they decide to do it? They found a formula that works for them. Who am I, or who are you to judge that? So yeah, man, I just think that, if we want things to change, I think we need to highlight the positive, who is doing it in the different ways that they do it. And I've seen people fight who have been both married for a long time. The crazy thing about it is, at the core of what they're both saying, they're saying essentially the same thing. I had to break up a fight one time on a BMU show between, it was Tarus and it was another guy, and they were going back and forth. They were basically saying the same thing. Marriage is based on respect, on love, and on sacrifice, and on trust. As long as you have those elements, you can fashion any way you want. I know people where the husband stays home. They got no kids. They got cats. The husband stays home. He does the cooking and cleaning and care for the cats and whatnot. She was a VP. She would invite us to our home invite the team over from the office to her home for different parties and celebrations. Happy as all get out. Now, look, would it work for me? My wife was like, absolutely not. There's no way I could do that. My man, you're going to have to work. But I was telling my wife, it was like, look, it works for them. Who am I to say that, oh, that's so wrong? But you find what works. So again, I think the conversation needs about how do we fashion or how do we build a working relationship where both can buy in. And then once those roles are defined, whatever they are, then execute. Then just stay in what you committed to. Stay in the covenant that you decided. I said this the other night on Tuesday's show. Everybody has their limits. For better, for worse, for richer, for poor. Note the words that are used. Better and worse. Now, in wordplay, there is good, better, best, and then there is bad, worse, worst. The vows do not say for best, for worst. It says for better, for worse. Meaning there's certain things, you're going to be able to deal with, and there's certain things that you're saying, we ain't doing that. Peter, I know you're the freaky dude or whatever, but you may run up against a woman who's like, I ain't doing that. I know you like to do the tiki wiki leaky or whatever, but I ain't doing that. Yeah, nah. So then guess what? So then you're going to have to make a decision.
Actually, Paul,
how important is the tiki leaky wiki to me before I marry this woman or not? Or are you willing to sacrifice and make some compromises on what you want?
When you came on, and thank you for coming on, because you opened my eyes a little different now. What you just said gave me a different view on things a little bit. And I nobody put those words like that. Today's housewife is different than the housewife from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
You don't think so? Why not?
When people changing it, that don't mean that's mean housewife. Mr. B just broke it down. A housewife is going to be the same.
But it may not be, but my thing is, but it may not be for all time and all seasons. Like I said, my wife was a housewife for 6 seasons. Once she went back to work, and we didn't sweat it. It was like, all right, our kids are of school age. My youngest one now, she's going to school. And once they got into elementary school, then things changed. So again, a housewife is an occupation. But to match wife and housewife together forever and for all time, I think that's archaic.
But so now a housewife is a wife that just stay at home, basically.
Yeah, that stay at home, that maintains the home.
No.
Yeah.
No. Just it. She just stay at home. Because there's a lot of wives, they just stay at home. And the husband come home, they be mad as hell, they ain't got nothing to eat. And she eating on something that she DoorDash. So
I wouldn't say that's a housewife, but I don't understand your point. Why'd you
but
cut
that's
me off?
what it sounds like. That's
I did not say that.
I said that's what it sounds like when you put it like that. When you say, no, not you.
Hang on, let him go.
Not
you, next, okay?
Mr. B. Not you. I just gave you props and said you just explained what a housewife is. So I'm not talking about you. I'm talking in general. So, and a lot of women be like, I'm a housewife. But then when the man come home, she's snapping on a little personal pan pizza that she got earlier from when she went out at the mall or somewhere. And he's like, I don't see nothing on the stove. I don't see nothing in the oven. And she be looking at him like, what? And then
I would say primarily that's his fault.
So
as I said,
again, is this the new season of New Housewives?
I don't see that as being a housewife at all. But the bottom line is I hold both of them accountable for that, is what I'm saying.
Yep.
Because again, what was the conversation? What was the expectation going into it? Now, you could be a trophy wife. That's a title too.
What's a trophy wife?
Trophy wife is just someone that your main occupation is to look good on my arm. So you don't have to have dinner ready for me or whatever. You just when we go out publicly or whatever, you got to be that dime piece that just looks good in public. So
Mm,
again, you could be that trophy wife type of person
mm,
as well. That's a title too. Again, I may not like it, but if you got the cachet, if that's what you want, and you find someone willing to do that, then that's a role also. There's
no,
there's men who choose women to solely be trophy wives.
Those are
There's men who
specific
want
men.
housewives. There's
That's
men who
specific.
want partners or quote more quote equals.
no.
It's all there. But are you having the conversation to say is that the expectation? And
No,
if you're upset as a man because you come home and your wife doesn't have dinner for you, if that was the expectation, then yeah, you got a beef. But if you didn't set that expectation early on,
that is
or
true.
hold her accountable to again the vows, or because that's what you're basically committing to. So if you didn't hold that person responsible for that, just as she would hold me responsible if I didn't go out and do whatever was expected of me,
Like
No,
then
strawberry
yeah, you're gonna
shortcake.
have a problem.
Mr. Bennett, if you noticed before you came on the panel, when I throw something out there, I say the true definition of the housewife will be a Provo 31 woman. Now, the reason I said it in that way, here where people, you know what, let me just say that. There are too many people who come on these platforms who have a hard time reading in detail to get a level of comprehension. Screw shit up. What you were hearing is the same what I was hearing. What I was hearing in clear detail, they weren't looking for a housewife, as per se. They were looking for a stay-at-home wife. The reason I'm saying that they're a housewife because you and I have heard the same thing. They want someone who will be at home, who get their food ready. They got the bubble bath, they got the kids in order, yada yada yada. But they keep forgetting when you want to compare from your elders the economic time of their era is not the same as our era, which I fully
Correct.
understand. I'm not stupid. I've been well that since the age of 12. When I mentioned the Proverbs 31 woman, she's a woman who is very adaptable. Keyword, the Proverbs 31 woman never stayed home. I think she's the crown of her husband's head, meaning she's the multiplier. Either
Yeah.
she's working with a career or you may come home with a money. She found a way to multiply the money you bring in and it add more value into the household. Either she have a side hustle or a side business or to do something to bring more money in. She's not a liability, meaning let me tell you what a liability is. And I don't care if I hurt your feeling. If I hurt your feeling, come to New York and pick whatever bridge you want to jump off, the Brooklyn Bridge or Manhattan Bridge. I'll pay your car fare to go up there.
Don't forget
The
the
li-
JWB.
the liability is a woman who wants you to waste money on a Coach bag. You want you to waste money on a BBL. She wants you to waste money on a Botox. She wants you to waste money on things that it doesn't multiply but subtract from the resource. It doesn't build legacy, but it builds debt. That's a liability. And what I've been hearing, what you and I have been hearing for past 2 or 3 years, they're not assets, they're liability. They are waste. They are dark hole. They are negativity. Because when they do all this bullshit about, oh, your book, I see for what it is. I see the big picture. A woman of essence will be a woman who consider to be a Proverbs 31, like I said earlier. She keep the house in order, right? She's an access, she's an assistant to the husband. Like you said, your wife was the housewife for 6 seasons, but that's part of her role as a Proverbs 31 woman. But at the same time, when that season was over, she was able to go out and also multiply. Not only were you working, Mr. Bennett, she was working as well. She was bringing more resource into the household. Is not correct?
No question.
So what your wife did is fulfill the actual role of a Proverbs 31 woman who's
Right.
supposed to be, not a stay-at-home. If they were a stay-at-home woman like they were acting for the 1950 to 1960, the economic value of that time is not the same as now. She could have had a side hustle. She could be sewing some dress, making money, selling different outfits on the side. that's still bringing income in. The problem with a bunch of uneducated bonehead who don't pay attention to the English language and pay attention to detail of the word. Words has meaning. Shout out to Cheeky Banter. It's a lot of people come on these panels and just like to la 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 like a dog with rabies with no common sense. Yet I said it. I am vicious as fuck. What you looking for, what she's asking for, is a delusion. What the reality is, you're looking for a woman who not only flexible, who very adaptable to the time that being constantly changing. Let's say, yeah, you have an issue with the school system that we have in this shitty ass country called the U.S., which is not the best in the 20, not in the best in the 20 top. It's way below the 20 top, and I call it out for what it is. You don't want your kid to be brainwashed with the doctrine of going on. You want to homeschool your kid. Shout out to Mrs. He said, she said. Perfect example. That's the essence of a Provo 31 woman. She's very flexible, she's very adaptable. She know what her man was looking for, and she being a great asset, not a liability. The problem with so many of the fake guru, I don't know why. Let me tell you what it sounded like when it was going on for the past few years. We have carpenter trying to do a doctor workload. We have a janitor trying to do an engineer workload. We have a doctor that trying to do a painter workload. Like you just said, yeah, people who have never been married talk about what it is to be married. So we have scam artists, nincompoop, retarded ass idiot, uneducated buffoon who want to tell people what it is to be married, but never been married to begin with. I don't like. Make it make sense. I already knew from there when I see that bullshit. Y'all have been nothing but full of shit. The problem is you never take the time to go to the bathroom and unleash all that shit out. But you rather keep it in and get bloated with it. This why you sound like a complete nincompoop. I'm sorry. Y'all been doing it for so far too long. Sometimes I want to laugh at you guys, but I hate to say it. You constantly put me correct when you're full of shit and you're dumb as fuck. Saying nonsense. Like eighth metaphor. Why would I listen to a guy named Ace Metaphor? Sound like Ace Asshole. Sound like Ace Jackass. He's never been married. So why would I listen to a person who don't have real life experience what it is to be married, how to maintain a marriage? Why would I listen to that kind of person? Same thing with a bunch of women who have been nothing but the retired 3 or 4 stat who juggling different hot dogs for different size for different venue. Why would I listen to those kind of people? For what purpose? I'm sorry, guys, I've been quiet for too long. So the beast is out. If you don't like the true honesty, jump off the goddamn bridge. The problem we have in today's society is they want to rewrite the will. What have not been proven? Why should we listen to you in the first place?
Peter, you said that I had changed your some perspective or something when I came in. What in particular did you catch that made you think differently?
So when you said you need to have a conversation, that's the number one. I never thought about that. Have that conversation with your girlfriend, fiance, or whatever. What is your expectation? I know you mentioned before you have your little diagram you gave out, but you should have those conversations because maybe my mindset as a in a marriage is different than she is. Like I have what I grew up with. Maybe I need to stop thinking like that and change it. Like I have no problem. My wife
Or
works.
maybe not. They call coffee day. Meaning because two different out of that you can see the flaws in it or the adaptability behind it because what you're saying is nothing wrong with that. Thing is, no one wants to sit down and talk and take note and listen to understand. We're not saying your view may be wrong, what you think. She can listen to what you say, what you believe, what you grew up, and she can
Mhm.
ask questions. Is this what you're looking for? Is this the aspect you need? What if I can step up to that level? What can I do to adapt to that level? How can I be able to learn it? Who can I go to give reference to? What I'm saying that type of way. I will not tell no man if you grew up under a tutelage that have been passed down to multiple generations, do not walk away from it. What you can do is have someone or you have into to sit down and you explain what you feel, what you have view or you have seen, but if they cannot understand, you say, you know what, I'll have you be around our elders who have done such a thing because Anton said that when he met his wife, his mom, his aunt took his wife and show her what Anton was familiar with. Am I wrong, Mr. Bennett?
I don't follow Anton
I,
that much,
I, I,
but
know, I, know, I,
I
know, I know you don't.
vaguely,
I know you
yeah.
don't follow. I know you don't follow. But like you said, your mom
Me
was.
either.
I listened to what he said. I paid attention to detail. Um, what the issue is, learning, listen to understand, and to adapt. It's not being taught in today's society.
Right.
No one wants to admit, okay, I may have an issue. What can I do to keep up or learn or be flexible with? Because what you told me about your marriage is the perfect essence of a perfect woman. She was flexible, she would adapt. You said it herself, when she got married, she didn't know how to cook, but it took her time to learn it. She adapted herself, she applied herself, she got better. It takes time to be seasoned in something. It's not a finished product, it's a journey. People are taking journey and time making it seem it's a finished product, what it's not. And what I've been trying to say for so long, I need to remove all these social media ideology bullshit and stop trying to fake it to you, but more you make it. I am beyond pissed off when I hear that type of bullshit. Sometimes I want to punch people in the mouth when they say that type of shit. Fake it till you make it. If you want to fake it till you make it, then you can fake a knockout blow when you get it. Because you have too many fake gurus who are saying too much bullshit. But people like you, Mr. Bennett, to speaking more and less of the donkeys out there who, I'm sorry, going through different changes of partner like they change their underwear and haven't been tested yet.
Yeah. Pete, I want to revisit something. And again,
Right.
I don't mean any disrespect.
No.
When you talked about your mom earlier, and you were
Yeah.
saying how your mom was a housewife, had certain things for your dad
Correct.
and whatnot.
Yeah. First of all,
But at the
before I
same
cut you off,
time,
I'm gonna cut
yeah,
you off. He's never disrespect when he comes out of you because we know each other well enough to.
I got you. But with certain people, especially her I know or I've talked to her or whatnot. I love her. I mean, she's she's feisty.
Actually, she's been
But
asking when you're coming over to cook for you. So you were her dinner. So
I got you.
explain
I
that to your
got you.
wife. I don't know how you guys can
Right.
do it. That's up to you guys. So yeah, I'm blessing you now. Good luck.
Right. But you've also said that you talked to your dad,
Hmm.
and there were he confessed or he talked about some of the issues that they were having. So I know you said they were married like 45 years, but obviously a lot of those years weren't necessarily blissful. I'll say that to
They
say
were
the
not good
least.
at all.
And so that's the thing. I mean, like I said, to me, a housewife, even in that, the primary responsibility is a wife, even before the children. And that's something that a lot of people, regardless of the culture, tend to forget. That even when you have kids, that the husband is still, or the spouse, I've told my daughters, look, I love my wife, I love your mother more than I love you. I've told them that directly.
He's supposed to.
Ephesians
So,
chapter 5, verse 22 to 33.
mm, so
Becomes
I'm,
the
I'm saying
husband,
that
wife,
even,
and kids.
yeah, but I'm just saying, but it seems like in that situation, your mom might have been doing some things, traditional quote of things, but was she being what your father needed in that situation? And sometimes, because a lot of people say, look, I do this, and that's why, again, people laugh at the 5 love languages or whatever. But again, and it doesn't have to be so strict like that. But again, I think a couple has to, from the courtship through the marriage itself, you have to address the needs of the time. Put it this way: what would your father would have traded? The meals cooked at, having the home cooked meal when he got home, or something that he was missing?
Definitely something he's missing.
Okay, so that's the thing, and that's the conversation. And I'm not just looking at your situation specifically. I'm seeing
Yeah.
couples in general.
Overall.
You try to justify. That's why I hate it when, like, even when you used to hear this with Kevin Samuels all the time. Women come and say, "Oh, I make good money and all that." Well, again, guys, like, we don't care about your money. I don't care if you make six figures or not, because that doesn't add a lot of value, or how many degrees that you have. But it's like people always try to justify their goodness, or why they're a good pick, or why they're good this or that, based on their resumes. But you're still not asking the question, what does he need from me? Or what do I need from him? Is this person at least capable? Do they have the raw material? Like I say me and my wife, I don't know if I was ready to be out. I told you guys, I wanted sex, period. That's why I got married. Was I a husband when I got married? I don't think so. But the raw material was there. The desire was like, okay, if I got to be a husband, what do I got to do? She was like, if I got to be a wife, yeah, I don't know. My wife said her mom worked like her whole life. I mean, so she didn't have that model of again, baking cookies and stuff. She didn't have that. But again, the raw material was there, the willingness was there, the innocence was there, the motivation was there. And so really, I think in this time, again, people need to have, again, these conversations. If you're married, you should have it at least annually, if not in the moment in time.
I think their biggest problem they didn't like sit down. Probably you and your wife did it. It sounds like sit down and let all the cards out and explain. Okay, here's my XYZ issue. Here's my X issue. Where can we find the middle to kind of balance that problem
Yeah,
out?
and that's the other thing too. There has to be at all times. This is why, like I said, the one thing that my wife and I had, we had to fight for it, but it was there. Again, you got to be willing. Like I said, just like with clients, when I train personal training clients, I can't give you motivation. I can give you accountability. I can give you technique, but I can't make you show up. And the problem with a lot of people is that you stop showing up in your marriage. You're there physically, but you're not, your heart isn't in it. You're not, this isn't leading into it. It doesn't mean that you're right or that you're going to get everything right. You may say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. Because a lot of people say, oh, well, communication's only half of it. The other half is what are you willing to do? And like I said, you may not get, just like any business negotiation, you may not get whatever you want. They say a good negotiation is when the buyer thinks he got more than he would have got, and the seller believes that he sold less than he would have. That's a good negotiation. When both sides look like they got good for what they gave, or they feel like they didn't give up as much as they gave it. But they understand that, look, if we're going to make this deal, we're going to have to give something. And so, again, couples in general need to have that kind of business mindset. We want to do business. Yeah, it's not business is never about getting 100%. It's always on the margins. But just people check out, and they don't give themselves a chance. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, I think a lot of marriages could be restored. I was so happy when JT on BMU, when he got back together with his wife. I thought there's no way that's happening. The stories he told about, JT's back with his wife.
Oh, JT just got back with his wife?
Yeah.
When? Just
Which
now?
one?
I guess a few weeks ago or a month ago. I don't know, but recently, a couple shows ago on a barbershop.
That's a big deal.
Oh, wow.
Considering all the stories that he told about him and his wife and what she put him through with the child support and all that stuff.
Are we talking about the first wife?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a conversation.
I'm just saying
I know.
that there's a lot that could be restored and saved. If people were just like, you know what, I'm tired of the BS. I'm tired. All right, whatever we were, whatever. Let's reset and let's try to
One thing
build
I will
something.
say, Paul, remember I always say to you, you and CQ have one of the best marriages I see. The reason is one of the biggest factors you guys have is communication. I know you have communication with your wife because you say that all the time, and I've been in front of you and your wife, and you guys how you talk. I can see that. Same thing with CQ. I've been around him shit 20 plus years, and he sits down and literally he has something. This is what's bothering me. Let's talk about it. Let's let all the and I think that's where my parents failed in a marriage. They never sit down and have a conversation. When they did sit down and have a conversation, it was a screaming match. Who can get
And
But that's
more?
the thing. Yeah, it's like I said. There has to be both. It's the conversation, but again, it's got to be the willingness. Do at the end of
bingo,
the day, do you want to be right or do you want to be together?
The other problem, I
bingo.
think they were both very comfortable in that situation. So
Oh
they,
yeah.
yeah, say like my mom used to say, "Fuck him," like all this shit about it. Oh yeah, to me, right from my face, it turns from like don't. She used to curse him out in Greek, all that stuff. Like, that's my dad. So like, yeah, that's fine.
Now
And
just from your what you've been able to perceive,
mhm,
because they say there's a thin line between love and hate, right? So,
yeah,
do you think that was even when she said that? Do you think that there was still driven by like a deep, passionate love for him, or was she like checked out? Because they say the true opposite of love is apathy. That is the
she had
opposite of love.
checked out after the whole rumor that started. My dad was cheating on my mom, and he never
Mhm.
did at that point. My mom already checked out. Like, if you
Okay, so she was done. So it wasn't like
yeah,
just venge, because you know that you could be so in love with somebody, you could be angry at the same time. It's like because the passions are so up, you know that could be fixed, and you see that like there's like those couples. I think you probably one of them. I mean, you either fighting or fornicating. You know what I mean? It's like
there's
there's
like
no gray area. It's like, man, they bicker. All you hear is sound. You either hear the bedroom or you hear the ba 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 ba, or then you hear the oohs and ahs. Or it's like, what's wrong with this? Like, it's like you guys are just crazy. I've seen couples like that. You know what I mean? Where there's no middle ground. You know. So I was thinking, was it something like that, or was it like really, like I said, once it gets to apathy, then that really is like that's probably the worst thing to come. That's the most difficult thing to come from, is when you get to that. Well, I don't care anymore.
yeah. My mom was. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, then yeah, no, it's gonna
She was like, she was doing what she wanted to do anymore. But at the
right.
same time, my dad always spoiled her. Everything she wanted, she got. It was more. My mom was more about always about food. You see how big my mom is. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Food was her weakness, and my dad knew that. So anytime it was come to food, he every when we moved to PA, he used to go to Titan, one of the core stores and the Greek stores, to get stuff like. And he used to load up the truck, excuse me, his car, his taxi, and bring at least two or three, maybe 400 stuff from imported store. Feta is like $20 imported. It's not cheap. Think about it. She's over 100 pounds now of five different fetas. That's
Mhm.
$500 almost there.
Yeah.
So then you have the Nick and Dax and whatever chocolate and all that stuff. So my dad never said no to her. That's the other thing. That's what mind blows me over their situation. Like, he never said no, but you hate him still. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah. So and again, I don't want to make this a
Back and
thing
forth.
going in on your mom or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I said, even with the rumors of what your father did or whatever, again when he had the conversation with you. So again, even prior to that, things weren't right.
Yeah.
So again, I just think that I think that's just where people need to go. But as far as again, when it's good, I don't care if you're again housewife, whatever wife title, whatever occupation you may have, in addition to the status of being a wife. I think when you have one, you need to hold on to her. And
And I think that's
I'm
the
just
problem we have now. Is
yeah.
most men won't fight for their women. That's my
Well, it's not the macho thing to do. They need to fight for us. I mean, it's just this. Like I don't know.
back and forth thing.
I don't understand that energy either. I mean, it's like, look, if you love your wife, I mean, it's like, you took the vows of what you were going to do. But nowadays, everything is based on what I will do only if she does, or I will only do if only he does. And
So
it's just okay. As long as y'all gonna have that kind of energy, then anything that pops off, then all bets are off.
my last not my last one. The ex I always talk about
Hmm.
the abuse. I fought tooth and nail to her, when it came down to us ending it finally. But I knew it had to end because it was abusive.
Yeah.
But I didn't want it to end either. I fought tooth and nail to get her sober, to get her in a right mindset, to her, quit smoking, everything. But she didn't want it herself either. So it goes both ways in that matter.
Yeah. But what were you getting back to my question? What was your expectation
As,
in that relationship, or was it? And be honest, because again, I think I know you a little bit.
Mhm.
Be honest. Was the sex was just like so just off the chain that you just kind of
Originally,
threw
originally,
everything off? I mean,
originally,
I mean,
David, you better cover your ears. You're gonna get very graphic now. So originally, when I got into the relationship, I wasn't even going into a relationship. I just wanted to get laid. That's all I cared about.
hmm
And she was coming out of a marriage and everything. And I told her straight, we're having drinks, and I'm like, listen, what do you want out of this? I'm not gonna bullshit you. I'm like, do you want to get laid or do you want a relationship? Because I'm here to get laid. And she goes, my marriage premise ending. I'm like, yeah, I like to get laid too. So that turned into a actual relationship. Like, oh, this is actually not bad. Before all the bad shit happened, I remember when I spent a
okay,
few.
but did you do the? But see now again, did you have the conversation?
I'm getting to that point.
Okay.
I didn't get to that point. So I'm starting realizing like she's actually not a bad woman, and she made me coffee the first morning I stayed at her house because I was working and like I lived in Mount Pocono, so I was like 30 minutes away from work. She goes, stay the night because you have to open. You have to be at work at 5 a.m. So just stay here, except you getting up at 3 a.m. Do your dog thing and everything. And I go, look, this makes sense. So one day I sit down and like I looked at her like we had a serious conversation. Like, listen, this is fun we're doing, but can we get titles? She goes, well, I thought we were titles. I go, what do you mean? And like, I thought you were my man already. And that's where we started having that conversation. So fast forward a few months down the road, now we're talking about like a good year into it. Now we're talking about a little bit of marriage stuff. Like I told her, listen, are you seriously thinking about getting divorced with your husband because I like to put a ring on you? She goes, yeah, I want to marry you. Like I can see me being married to you and having a family and everything. We had the whole conversation, a 2 hour conversation. Then a few months later, I went and bought her a ring and I proposed to her. I did have the whole conversation with her, what I wanted out of it, and she told me exactly
But
what.
what was that? Wait, but I'm sorry. I'm not hearing the conversation here. The only conversation I heard
Me
was
either. Me either.
in terms of the marriage,
Mhm.
but I didn't hear the conversation about again what the expectations are
That never happened.
as
To be honest, that
as even as a girlfriend and boyfriend, because again y'all just got together as a hookup.
yes,
Now y'all decide to flip it over to okay, we gonna be something. And
correct.
she even said that, oh, are we gonna go to titles now? Oh, I thought we were titles, which means you never
I
had the
asked her that.
conversation.
Yeah, I asked her like we should to make a title out of this.
Right. But again, she was operating as if it already was, and there
Correct.
were no expectations set, and you just said title, but
Mr.
even
B.
with that, you didn't define what those expectations were.
Mr.
Correct.
B. Mr. B.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me say something. He kind of did. A lot of women take things extra far. He told her he wanted to get laid. She said, I'm divorced now. I do too. So they didn't have the conversation. They did it all the way. All he told
Well,
her
hang on.
was, Because it was supposed to be just a laid thing. It wasn't
Right.
supposed
I'm
to be in a
saying
relationship.
that was
Yeah.
the only legit conversation that they had that
Yeah.
defined expectations.
Yeah.
Everything else after that was up in the air and stuff just dropping on stuff. Again, that was the realest moment. Was right there. Look, I want this. You want it too. Boom, let's go. That's the realest out of the relationship.
So
That was the realest
later on,
conversation.
the conversations we had, we did talk about the whole marriage, kids, what how we're going to do, but we never got to the conversation, and that was probably my fault because I didn't think about it. Is what am I expecting her as a wife? I never had that conversation. These are my expectations as a wife. I did have an
That's
expectation
the
like, oh,
talk. That's part of the talk.
exactly. We didn't get to that part because I never thought about it. The only thing we did talk about was, oh, I like to get a house. I like to have a dog. She wanted cats. She wanted, X, Y, and Z in a house. Stuff like that we talked about. But we never got into the title. Okay, this is your title as a wife. What is that follow up with? This is your husband title. This is what follows up with. None of that.
Ultimately, yeah, because all the cats in the house, all that is irrelevant.
Yeah. I didn't think about it. I'll be honest with
What do I need? I need this from you because you can forget
you.
all that stuff. You can, as long as that stuff is defined, you can live in a shack and you be good. I've seen couple. You see those married couples. They literally live out of an RV
Yeah, I've seen those.
and they like travel the country like in a glorified conversion van or something like that.
Yeah.
Happy as all get out. Was you got people who got mansions and can't even live in the same mansion on one side of the house or the other
No,
because again they're this they got the expectations. Everything is defined. Everything is in order.
they didn't
I was watching a
communicate.
couple that their kids are bears. I was just watching. It was like nature video. This couple, they've been married. Look, they've been married like 50 years or something. They got a bear reserve where they nurse grizzlies and brown bears and all these different wild animals. But it's their life.
It's nothing wrong with that.
And
I
that's their
made a
thing.
mistake, and I learned that from you. I give you credit. I learned that from you tonight.
David, your kids are loud, baby.
Okay, hold on.
It's a lot of back noise, and they know it, and they not saying that.
Yeah.
Come on, y'all.
So,
We on a live.
so when tonight, one thing I learned from you, and I'll admit that, have that conversation with your woman or the girl you're talking, or whatever. This is my expectation. This is what I want, and this is what I need, or whatever. And what do you need? I never thought about that till tonight, Paul. I'll be straight up with you. Originally, I went into it like I want my dick wet. That's all I cared about. Then it became a relationship. Then became an engagement. I never sat down and questioned, how do you want your husband to be? Never. I never thought about that. Never even once. I never asked her.
Right.
Did
I'm
she
like,
say yes?
yes, he did.
She got the ring still?
Yeah, it was my stupid fault. I should have taken that shit
Well,
back.
that means she didn't want the marriage more. She wanted the wedding.
Yeah,
You could
she
tell.
cared about the more she was a very material person. She cared about what can I have all the time. I
Have you
learned that.
ever asked for the ring back?
No, because I had lost contact with her. I don't even speak to her. I should have. If I couldn't get a hold of
Well,
her, I would have asked
I
her
want
back.
to say this. I want to say this because I'm getting tired of this, and I don't care who get mad. Stop, y'all. Stop being a yes man because it lands your ass in a hole, and you wonder why you look stupid at the end of the rainbow,
And
which
you're
is the
right.
marriage.
You're right.
Stop being a yes man.
And
Put your foot down and be the man. You the man for it. Listen, you talking because if you knew you would, I wouldn't be saying it. So listen, you being a yes man, and you wonder why you got ran over because you said yes. Put your foot down. Say things like, stop, you too grown. Next time you meet another woman, don't go in just to get a leg unless it's going to be a one night stand and you ain't going to call it no more. Or unless y'all come to that agreement. Don't spoil a woman that you ain't going to make your wife. as your girlfriend. You can't play house and not be, you know what I'm saying? Like I tell a man, she was good enough to be your baby mama, but she's not good enough to be your wife. They don't have nothing to say. I've been talking to a lot of young men who's been having. I knew one Latino man who had like 4 kids. He told me I was right. I said she's not wifey material. He said you right, and the look on his face after the whole conversation without me have to say everything. He said you right. He said you're a good one. I said I'm just speaking the facts, baby. When you be born with examples, be raised with examples, and be taught to be that, then you know what I'm saying? And I said, were you raised that way? He said, yes. I said, how did you land in this position? Because he just did what he wanted to do. He was doing it his way. And I was like, you believe in God? You think he's happy with you same sex? You know, not same sex, but with you having non premarital sex and having all these babies, married before he carried. He's like, you right. So yeah, men, please stop being yes men, and stop letting these women kick you out of your home. If they tell you to leave and they call the police, let them call the fucking police. Video court them, okay? Video court them. That's your home. They want. They was like, and they try to take the kid. Put my child down, my son and my daughter down. They got a room here. You is not gonna go find no place for them to stay when they got a home. Cause by law, you have that right to do that. That's your child. Put your foot down on these women. These women want. They don't understand who the prize is. Not saying that we're not the prize, but yeah, that's a whole different conversation. And I'm gonna land right there.
Before we go ahead, Paul, drop it. And she nailed on a point. I can't. But only thing I was gonna say before we get into our final thoughts was at the time when I did break up with her, when we were breaking up, I thought we were breaking for different reasons. I found out later on she was cheating on me. So me being a dumbass, I was trying to be the good guy. Like, you know what? Just keep it because it's not your fault. It was a medical condition I thought originally.
Peter,
I'm an idiot. I know.
what did I tell you earlier?
Which part?
When you're dealing with a woman who come out from a marriage, you got to be very, very cautious what you're getting yourself into. You need to
Yeah, I don't know
understand
what I
that
do.
dynamic. Uh, Here's the thing.
That's true. And he know why I'm saying that's true. Did you ask her why she was getting divorced? Why did she ain't gonna be married to him? How long was she married?
I
But here's the
forgot.
thing.
I never actually did ask her why.
Wow.
Here's the thing, Peter. Let me use myself as the example. Yeah, I'm going to a divorce. I hope to be remarried, but I'm taking my time not to rush into it. So what I'm doing right now is only speak to women who are not in the U.S. are in the motherland on purpose. Because you know why? There's a great distance in between. Meaning, I don't have to have the wild monkey down and not have a clear mind to have a clear conversation and ask the kind of question I need to ask. I will ask you, why were you single? What was the reason why the relationship you had last failed? Was it your fault? Was it his fault? Was it miscommunication? Was it y'all grew apart? Y'all too busy? You ask the real question. But when you do the wild monkey dance, 9 times out of 10, you can't think clear because you want to do it again because that thing feel good. I'm an African, I know this. But when you're not thinking down there, you're thinking up here, there's a lot of things you want to know and understand. The dynamic. What is her ideology? What did she believe in? What did she think? What's her view of things? Shout out to Uncle Ricky. He will tell you, put them through it. See how they really are, who they really are, what they really are. Because when you cannot have that type of specific conversation to get to understand that my or God that my or have a feel what you're expected to deal with. And when you had a wild monkey down, God forbid, she bamboozle you and you got out, oh, I didn't know this was what she really is. I think that our elder keep telling don't be too quick in the bed. Figure out who they are up here. Let's be real. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just taking my time. I'm out here. I'm not chasing nobody out here on this soil. Because I'm taking my time speaking to people across the ocean. So when I do travel to check out my father's property over there in Nigeria, and I get to meet some of the people in person, at least I have a wealth of who they really are. I want to see how they go act in person. If they're acting fishy, I know that they know that's not worth my time. Mm, I'm good. I think the problem people are so quick to use sex as a negotiating tool. Think if they put the right for them or not. Not always been the case. Yeah, sex is good, but without sex, what else do you have in return? What is there on the table besides the sex? Is this a long term thing or just a spur of the moment? I'm just calling as I see it. Let's stop the bullshit. That's why you have a lot of failed marriages because they don't have a strong foundation built on something that is solid. There's nothing wrong having a coffee date when you sit down, you have the type of conversation you need to have, ask the difficult question you need to ask, find out who that person, why were they secluded to themselves, what made them be by themselves, are they going through a journey, are they going through some type of relation, are they going through a spiritual journey, what are they dealing with their baggage, are they dealing with their self-esteem issue. I heard in my job, I'm not gonna mention names, that some people like the toxicity. I ain't got time for that bullshit. I'm sorry. I ain't got time for insecure people who want to see who you like. Oh, why you like that person? You wishing you got time for all that bullshit? Really? People who are not productive are not the people you should be dealing with to begin with. I get it. I see it. The way I look at Mr. Bennett at the idea model, he said he had his book, he had everything written out. I put that picture in my head. He planned things out first. He had that conversation with her. I'm sure it wasn't no one coffee there. I'm sure there's multiple coffee there. They sat down there and brought out their playbook and figured out what play will be used if they do come together as an item. Am I wrong, Mr. Bennett?
Yeah, yeah. You know, but it's the only the crazy thing about it now when I look at the document now it's like I can barely read it because I'm not the same person. Like if I was to write that document today, especially based on what I know, or what I know now, it would be totally different.
They
Because
write a book then.
so
This is
so
me
I'm just saying
before, and this is
it's
me
like,
after now.
but it's like I'm like, who was I back? I'm like, who was I back
Well, let
then?
me ask you a
No
question
idea.
before I open the floor for you guys to have final thoughts. Do you think in 2025 would that document work? Not the exact same one, but handing a document out. You're looking for a wife. This is the credentials I'm looking for. Or does it
Um,
tell you like you're crazy?
I think short answer yes. Look, the format may change. It might be some online thing. It may be whatever. But like I said last time, try sales. Try if you've ever worked in sales or did cold calls. How many calls do you have to make before you get a hit?
100.
But if you go into it with a mindset, I don't know if this will work. They give you a script to read. I don't know if this is going to work. How successful are you going to be? The only thing I could do is, again, all I can do is play the numbers. And like I said, my goal, though, is not sales, which depends on volume. It is selection. So again, my objective is to, in fact, someone just said, someone made a comment. Yeah, this trainer, these guys who do this special kind of strength training or whatever, said we're not for the mainstream. We are narrow casting because people ask, this is so great. Why don't you take this to the Gold's Gym and in the Planet Fitness and whatnot? It's like, nah, that's not what we do. We are narrow casting. This type of thing is for a certain individual of a certain temperament who's willing to do what we're looking to do. They're not trying to do volume. Like even I think about Bruce Lee. I mean, he was like, yeah, he had the initial idea. Yeah, he wanted Jeet Kune Do all over the place. He's like, nah. Really, if you want to preserve the art, if we turn this into a chain of karate schools, it'll never, or martial arts schools, it'll never go anywhere.
Bingo.
He was charging $275 an hour back in 1967. So again, I mean, so for that purpose, the fact that I'm looking for one, and I knew what I wanted. Look, I wanted a black woman. So again, the guys who want to go, fishing in Asia and all these other places, hey, more power to you. I need a sister. And in particular, and narrow casting it to, I want an African American. I'm sorry. I love my sisters from the Caribbean and my Native African sisters and whatnot, but I need a sister, not just a black woman or one of African descent. I need someone who can vibe on my level, who kind of comes from my background. I wanted a sister,
Come on,
not
Mr.
just a
B.
black woman. So my thing, so my thing was like, look, I'm going for that. I don't know how many numbers I got to go through. I don't know how many whatever. I just want that, and I'm just gonna keep shooting my shot until I get a hit. So as far even the question that you're asking, just in short, Pete, I don't know. Will it work? I don't know. I just know what I did. And if I was at that point, if I ever came to that point in my life again, I would understand that if I want that kind of success, I would have to at least be willing to go through that again, to make myself vulnerable again, to stand up to strangers. You can remember, this is just as at the dawn of the internet. Internet was just starting. We were still coming out of the forums and bulletin board age. Shout out to True North.
Check out his beer stuff, man. I'm saying,
absolutely. See, I'm even marketing. See, I represent the 7Bs, and I'm still promoting the True North network.
Right,
like I said, we're beneficent. We are a beneficent, benevolent organization here. So again, no hate for the bearded and the follicles.
Has like a head oil for you.
I wish he did. Yeah, something to take the sheen off the head, conditions and whatnot. But take the sheen. I don't need
that, dude.
I don't need the sheen on my head. But if he's got something, I'm willing to try it.
Actually,
but
because it has all the same ingredients that you put on your head.
Yeah. But Pete, just to follow up again, you got to be willing to shoot your shot. You ask yourself that question: will it work in any business? You're not gonna do well. But again, are you standing? How much do you believe in yourself? How much do you believe in what you are presenting? So when you talk to me, I was better when you talked to me about the document more so than the document itself. The document was just an opening. But I'm thinking once you sit down with me, at the very least, you're gonna know that's a deep brother right there. That's somebody who got his stuff together. At least he may not be what I want, but he knows what he wants. And then move on. But you got to have that attitude in life. You going for a job? How many resumes you gonna have to put out? Before I got my job, hundreds of applications and resumes and links. I was talking to 5 recruiters a day for a period of about 3 months, which whittled down to only a handful of actually in-person interviews, which netted 2 jobs. One I took. That's just life. So the numbers might be more rare now, if you want to say that yeah, it's harder now. So instead of maybe 1 in 1,000, maybe it's 1 in 5,000. I don't know. But you got to be willing to. You got to have that attitude. But again, you have to know it starts with who you are and what you want, and your ability to then share that with potential suitors or potential mates.
I agree. So let's get our final thoughts. David, you go first.
I'll let that be mine. You can pass it out. That's my final thought. You can.
All right, David, you go next. And Leno will go last.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll make it straight up with you guys. I know the church at the back, but the fans celebrating the housewife. It's more like celebrating the Proverbs 31 woman. We're in a different genre. We're in a different era where the finance and economic of the world is different from what it was back in the 1940 to the 1960s. If you're looking for that special person, I'm going to tell you straight up the back. Don't think with your man down there. Think with the brain up on top. Be willing to have that type of conversation. Willing to have that coffee date. If you're dealing with any kind of woman who feel like drinking bean juice or having hot cocoa or sitting down having a conversation is boring, consider that person useless to you. You hear me? And I said it. Because I'm not even gonna waste my time with doing any retarded individual out here who feel like me having a coffee date or sit down to have a conversation to sip coffee or hot cocoa, didn't know one another, it's a waste of time. That by all means, that person a liability. Like I said, I don't need a liability. You want somebody who will put you to a situation where you still have to bail yourself out and bail that idiot out? No, you don't need that thing around you. And there are too many of these junk women in your way that way, then get your passport or cross the border and find another way around somewhere else. I don't know where would that fit your boat. All I'm telling you right now is it's pointless. Work on yourself, build your finances, build your financial foundation, assess yourself, what you want, what you're looking for. If you're the young guy, don't be too quick to just pick up any girl. Focus on you, work on you. You have plenty of time, but don't be a simp for any of these females. Just let you know. All right. Lady Navarre, you're next. Lady Navarre.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't. Oh, I'm not looking. I'm listening to it. I'm sorry. I told you I was cooking, and then I started cleaning and
I
listening.
know. I know. Your food might be smelling
Um,
good, so we smelling it now.
this was no. I already ate already. I had to do military eating just in case y'all be like, your turn. This is Peter's fault. But anyways, this was a good subject. Well, I hope a part two come out. I almost said a part two, but I don't know if a part two is coming out. But if a part two come out, I'll join that too. But ladies, take care of your man. In order to do that, you have to want to do that. If you don't want to do that, don't do it. Don't get no mind, okay? Because if your man get hungry and you relaxing and you be like, babe, can you make me a sandwich? Sandwich. I was gonna say it ghetto. I'm gonna say it right. A
A
sandwich.
sandwich.
Yeah, yeah. Because they be like, babe, can you make me a sandwich? You like, right now, girl.
Hey, somebody make me a sandwich really fast.
Okay, what you want on it? Are we
What?
playing role right now? You tell me
No,
make your
I'm
sound.
just
What you
kidding.
want on it? Well, what? No, dude, let's do it. What you want on it? You want some
Uh,
tomatoes?
let's tomatoes. Let's do mustard and buffalo turkey.
Then she's supposed to say, baby, do you want it hot or cold? Cause I could toast your bread, or I could just make you a cold cut.
No, it has to be hot. The best way is hot.
Okay, you like hot sandwiches. A lot of men like the cold cut, you know, type of sandwiches, like delis. And some of them they like some of the hot ones, but 9 out of 10, when you say you hungry, a good woman gonna get you a meal. Every blue moon you'll eat a sandwich here and there, but a real woman gonna make sure her man eat a meal. Am I wrong, Mr. B?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm just making sure because I know I'm not. Anyway, so yeah, like I was saying, take care of your man, ladies. If you, especially if you're at home, And I know being a housewife is not easy. I'm gonna say it again. Being a housewife is not easy because there's a lot of things a housewife does versus one that doesn't do none, that just be at home watching soap operas or love and hip hop. I can't stand that show. Anyway, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's good to watch your shows, but do it in between your daily agenda unless you sick. Now, if you sick, that's different. But if you are able, yeah, do it, and then spice your marriage up. Don't be all boring through your whole marriage. Spice it up throughout the years to keep it going. Then you don't have your man wonder who next, who he should try when he got you and you got everything that he needs. I can't tell you everything because we ain't got enough time. No, it's not a lot. But I will have to break it down to you and explain to you because you're going to be like, I ain't no mate. No, baby, you ain't never, you his mate. But he ain't going to look at you like a maid. But you tell him, I'm your maid. That's a sexual, flirtatious way of saying it. Yes, there's a difference between a wife and a maid. When you clean the house, you're not expected to do it like a full cleanup every day. It's like spring cleaning. Because when you clean that house, your husband gonna do his duties and clean up behind himself to make sure that you ain't overdoing, especially if you working. I had to work 16 hours before I come home, make sure my house is cool. But when you already did all that, you ain't have to do too much cleaning. You just go straight no, da 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 da. Then make, what I'm saying, dinner and not complain about it. And another thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna land my plane right here. Stop nagging at your man so much. When he makes a mistake, let him make that mistake. He is allowed to make that mistake. He is not perfect. And watch your man figure it out. You will be so amazed. They build the world. They started before a school was even thought of or invented. That should tell you enough right there. I seen a man just make anything out of anything, and he can use it. He'll be a babysitter at his own home and have kids. And he was like, I need to make something so it could be easier for me to pull these kids around. This man made a ride for them, put it to his belt. So when he walks, he's taking them with him. Come on now. So stop nagging at your man. And stop saying you are the bronze and we are the brain. Stop putting happy wife, happy life first. Because in order to get that, you have to have a happy spouse to have a happy house. Because if your house ain't happy, you ain't gonna be happy. And that's how you get your happy wife to happy life. And I'm gonna land my plane right there. And take care of your kings, queen. You can't be a queen until you have your king. I'm done.
So I don't know about anybody else who's watching this, but tonight's show was a eye awakener for me. It made me think things in a different perspective, different views, and different things I can do in my next relationship. So I hope everybody can take this and learn from it. I know I did tonight. But before we go, let's do a quick schedule update. This Saturday, we are talking about Batman: The Dark Knight. Yes, we're going there. We're going. I'm gonna probably piss off Eric a little bit, and I'm looking forward. We've been arguing for a couple of weeks about this. And on gray area, did we decide the topic yet, Paul, or do we'll go over that tomorrow? We'll go over that tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
But there will be a show. I just don't know which one yet. Now on Wednesday, the Anime Unleash, they're talking about Gungrave, the Revenge of the Reaper. That should be a great conversation. And ironic, I didn't do it on purpose. It was an accident. So next week's schedule is sex is not love, love is not sex. The understanding the difference between that. So that should be a interesting conversation. You guys are shaking your heads.
Okay. Hmm.
It is a difference, David.
So we will have a eighth metaphor nightmare.
Probably. You know me. I like throwing these bombs.
I
But
know.
except
I
that,
know. And I did
David,
it on
anything else?
purpose. I took shit at him because he's a dumb idiot anyway. He's not smart.
All right. Except that, guys, as always, I am Ghost of Sparta. This is the Spartan Institute Network. Stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.